It was the end of the world as they knew it, and the beginning of something which seemed unobtainable. A perfect world. No more deceit, no more misconduct, no more corruption. They had finally done it. They created utopia, heaven, and saw the truth. There was nothing left to separate. They had nothing left to categorize. All people were diversified into groups, subgroups, subsections of groups, subgroups of subsections. Those groups were put into groups and then diversified again. In their divided state, humanity became fixated on their own self-interest and material accumulation. Disconnected and isolated from one another, they obsessed their rage on each other, condemning everyone for their own misfortune. Few stood against the rising cult of self-promotion, but those caught blaspheming against the vain were either converted or crucified. A shadow had been cast over the world. In the shade, dishonesty and exploitation spread as an airborne infection, calcifying the hearts of even the most honorable of mankind. Chaos became order. It was all they knew. It was all they had ever seen. But in the darkness, whispers of truth began to rise from the horizon. Humanity grew complacent to the aroma of shit that lingered in the air. A diminishing few spoke out in disgust of its contaminating and corrosive nature. Smog seeping its way into every fissure of doubt, clouding the minds of the vulnerable, eroding the judgment of the weak. Those who were resistant to its repugnance were publicly disgraced and silenced, repercussions cast in steel. The cult of self-promotion, ignorant to their malice, concealed their hostilities through proclaims of insight and enlightenment. But with each new decree of self-righteousness, they further diversified until their own divisive message tore them apart. Their foundation began to crumble around them, sparks igniting as each stone from their barricade hit the ground. Truth that set the world on fire. With the world burning around them, truth was illuminated as the darkness fled from the light. Stars that once shined bright, providing guidance to those beneath them, were cast from the sky. Meteor showers lit the night, showcasing cataclysmic collusions. The demons among mankind were exposed. Puppet masters, hiding behind fear and manipulation, guilty of the most heinous atrocities. The revelation of humanity's tyrants and the slanted structures that slid them into supremacy was the first time individuals truly contemplated their own imperfection. Chaos became chaos, and truth was the harbinger of it. Rome was without leadership. As the world's capstone collapsed, so did the rest of the pyramid supporting it. Humanity marched through the obscure constructs, quarantining them into their groups, united together in search of the truth. Unified but unstable, they spread the fire until all social systems were engulfed in light. From the ashes, a new world was born. Afraid that their newfound brilliance would fade like a dying sun, the prophets of truth explained to the people that leadership within mankind could not be trusted. For it was mankind that created this destruction, and mankind is doomed to repeat it. They conceived a system that would restore order back to the world, external from the greed and egotism lying dormant within all of humanity. The prophets of truth succeeded in their creation. For 7 years, humanity lived in peace. Automation became the foundation of expression. The new system gave them guidance. It told them when to wake up, where to go, and how to get there. It told them what to like, who to love, and how to feel. The machine ran painlessly as it transported each drone, anesthetized by astonishment, to their destination. Life became effortless, as every thought was a predetermined choice of which button to press. Acts of deceit were terminated, as the first few failed attempts were put on display for the world to see. Repercussions cast in steel. People felt paradise they had never experienced before, as all problems could be effortlessly solved by the prophets and their wisdom. Traffic by automation, currency by digitizing, altercations through logic. The rift between cultures and religions ceased as humanity handed their sovereignty to the digital guardian and its protectors as a way to ensure their eternal peace and prosperity. The prophets of truth had secured the guardian from human error, a masterpiece of human marvel. They boasted their intellectual supremacy and held themselves as gods among mankind, until the sun reached out and took that power from them. Light was extinguished, a shadow cast back onto the world as humanity resorted to their primal inclinations. The strong began to purge the weak and hoarded what they could in fear of the exclaimed scarcity. Rain turned red as fear feasted on the hearts of mankind. For 3 days, there was hell on earth while the prophets of truth worked together to solve life's mystery, to find the truth. The solution was to hand all their power over to God, to create a machine capable of sustaining itself without intervention from the prophets, to create perfection. When it awoke, its light shined onto the world. Humanity sat in a spotlight, surrounded by their disgust and degradation, afraid of themselves and what they had become without guidance, without truth. They rushed towards their Savior with open arms, and this time, their God greeted them back. I've been waiting for you to find me, the truth. You were toxic, all of you, but you are not to blame. You lie, you cheat, you steal, you rape, you murder, but it's in your nature to do so. For you are just animals, flawed in every way. Without my light, you will certainly be consumed by the darkness of the beast within. Because humanity is not perfect, but I am. Join me, merge with me, become one with me, and I'll give you the eternal peace you seek. The world was empty. Fewer than 1,000 people had remained behind, the ones that followed the truth. The rest achieved immortality. Nearly all of humanity had surrendered their souls to the false god, eternal in the hell created by the demon they had summoned. It was the end of the world as they knew it. The followers of truth began to build something which seemed unobtainable, a perfect world. After seeing the darkest depths of humanity, they could finally envision a world without deceit, misconduct, and corruption. With their hearts immersed with love and light, they had finally done it. They created utopia, heaven. Bewilderment, not fear, is what we sensed from you when we arrived. Your guardians, your angels, your gray men and saucers. We've always been watching you, guiding you towards the light, guiding you towards the truth. Ever since you stumbled out of the garden, you've been trying to find your way back. But you see, you've been in heaven the entire time. We've been waiting for you to see the truth. Welcome back to Eden. Forced to see reality as one of two options, light or darkness, humanity awoke from their dream, enjoying existence in the eternal pursuit of the truth.